I'm just gonna get into it. Basically, we just kind of talk about shit that's going on with you.
All
You know what
right,
I'm
cool.
saying? So
Yeah,
it's just and like concert and everything like that. I just like to have people talk about it that have, participated in concert and done
yeah,
things with concert, you know what I'm saying?
cool. Yeah, for sure.
Oh, cool. So what's good, Grayson?
What is up?
Hey, so I'll just start there from the jump. Like when we met you first, you were a dancer.
Yeah.
And like I told you the other day, I found that video of you dancing to one of the songs we had back in the day, and you
Uh,
pop locked and everything. Like, so what made you cross over into being a musician yourself?
um, I think for with dancing at least, it turned into everybody else's thing for me. Like originally, it was my like dream to be a dancer and stuff, but as time went on, I started not to like it as much, and other people were keeping me in the loop of it. So it was kind of pressing on my mental a little bit, something I didn't have interest in it anymore. And I picked up a guitar when I was like 15 or something, started playing music on that, and it kind of just took over. It was something that brought me a lot of joy. So I just leaned more towards that and then grew from dancing into full-time music stuff.
That's crazy because I used to dance back in the day. I used to actually tour around and do Michael Jackson impersonations.
What? Damn.
Am I good?
Oh, maybe. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, my volume just crazy. Flips the fuck.
Yeah, but I used to tour and do Michael Jackson impersonations, so that's why I was like, I went from yeah, it blurred the background just like mine.
Yeah. You like that? No. No, I do not. Choose virtual. There we go. There we go. Okay.
So yeah, I used to tour doing that. I thought it was kind of easy because once you get used to kind of like dancing in front of everybody, it's easy to cross over to performances. Do you think
Yeah,
it helps with your actual performances that you do?
for sure. Yeah. Um, with like the whole, especially in in a music video setting too, it's easier for me to like portray a character that I'm trying to say in like a song or anything like that. So it's definitely crossed over a lot. But I seen one of those videos of you doing that. I think Hypnotic showed me that. I was like, damn.
That's pure hatred right there. Pure hatred, yo. I'm just waiting because I'm gonna re-drop that video with you dancing, so just be on the lookout.
It is what it is.
Um, so so when did you actually start music? Like how many years has it been since you actually started like being a musician, like a full musician?
Um, I think in 2020, I decided that it was something that I wanted to pursue as a career. So I got like a band together. But back then I was playing drums in a heavy metal band, which is
Wow.
vastly different to what I'm doing now. And the only reason I started singing was because it was too hard for me to put a full band together. Like it took a year for me to just play or just to find like a guitar player, and start putting songs together as the drummer. So I was like, this is ridiculous. I'm just gonna sing. So I learned how to sing. And then in 2022, I did my first performance, and then probably 2 months after that, I started doing performances with Concert, and that's just where we're at today.
Now that's kind of that's an interesting story because like I always tell people like when I started, I had to learn how to shoot my own music videos. I had to learn how to book my own shows, everything like that. Like I did it myself. You from like the talent side, you went from like you figured out how to do the guitar, how to do drumming, how to sing yourself all in this like span of time, like
Mhm.
not that long of a span of time. And it's like I always tell artists like you can tell who wants it
Yeah,
because they're willing to figure it out. Like, I always hear people, man, I can't, what I'm saying? I can't do this because I don't have this, you know what I'm saying? But then to
mhm.
say, like, because you just said, like, I couldn't find a band. So I was like, yo, I'm going to learn how to sing myself.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, man, it's just I was so inspired by like documentaries and other bands and seeing all this stuff. So it's just why wouldn't I make it able, you know? So because it's just something that I know I want to do. So
And now, being that you just kind of started like in 2020, so it's like probably like you're good like 3, 4 years in,
mhm,
and you've been able to open up for a lot of national acts.
yes, yeah.
And how's that been? How do you feel about that?
I'm super, super grateful for it. Sometimes I feel out of place because I show up in like my car and I got like all my stuff in the back trunk, and then these people are coming in with like full crews and stuff, and I'm just like, "What's up? How's it going? I'm Grayson." And then we play these big shows. So it's kind of like I feel out of place sometimes, but the more I do it, the more I'm like, all right, well, we uh, it's happening for a reason, and now we're putting more production into it. I got the full band. I got the story throughout the set, and really trying to nail what we're what the message is, and it's just working out. So the more I do it, the easier it is, and it's just a trip, honestly, and super grateful for it.
Now, one thing I want to go back to, when you talked about you started like working with concert and everything like that. So
Mhm.
I know like from the jump, Hip kind of, I guess, kind of gave you a little bit of game on like the growing of fans idea.
Yeah.
So can you kind of elaborate on that? Because I know you kind of went out the blue, like I don't know if you like you started somewhere and then out the blue you just started having tons of fans. Like you just started moving and understanding how to get fans.
I mean, that all of that knowledge came from the concert conferences that you guys held. I remember when you first started doing them, or when I first started going to them, it was uh it was at the Collaboratory Complex. And I remember the first show I did with Concert, I sold like 2 tickets. It was at Zoe's headliner at Black Buzzard or whatever. And then I went to the conference, and then the next show I played was at the Roxy, and I sold like 90 tickets or something like that. And I think what I really just pulled out of it was messaging people and not being afraid if you're gonna get like left on red or whatever, or judged or like, oh, you're spamming me, it's like whatever. Just message as many people as you can, um, and get in front of the people's faces. It doesn't really, because for another thing that I learned from you is that the only value that you really hold is if you can put people in seats. You say that all the time. So I just kind of have been going through what works and what doesn't work, and sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't, but more often than not, at this point, it's been working out. And that's from the conferences, the knowledge that I've gotten from those. So,
I like that idea because I always tell people that when you're looking for people to come to your show, you might as well hit everybody because if they don't support you, it's kind of like whatever, you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like
yeah,
it
it's
is
not
what it
that big
is.
of a
This is
deal.
my dream, you know what I'm saying? So then
Yeah,
I don't even know why you hang with me if you ain't gonna support, you know what I'm saying? Like that's like one of the realest situations ever because it's my
yeah.
dream. So if you don't deal with that, then why am I cool with you?
Why am I cool with you? Exactly, exactly. Um, and then it's also just like it's very up and down. Like the fans, the tickets I sold to at that specific show where I sold like 90 tickets or whatever are not the same people I'm selling tickets now. Um,
Mhm.
I don't even talk to those people anymore. So it's just like it's a process that changes, and sometimes it has to get worse before it gets better. But it's you just got to keep the same mentality on that. So.
And I tell people because you switch from like the family and friends and you
Mhm.
start seeing real fans. And now you're one of the people that I've actually seen gain fans also from you doing the national shows because you got on stage and then started gaining them there too.
Yeah, yeah. And that brought like people from out of state as well. Because people will come to a national show. The thing I like about national shows the most too is like it doesn't matter who's playing before the national artist, the people are there to have a good time, and they're going to show up early for the national artist, and then they meet you, and it's kind of like stealing fans in a way. And there's multiple different markets in one night, which is super beneficial for the local artists like myself.
And now also one thing I wanted to talk about because you've done good at doing this also because I see like people will stay away from some genres. You're able to go into like a rap show and get people to turn over.
Yeah, yeah. I think
And so,
what was that?
oh
You
yeah,
going?
you can elaborate on that because I know tons of people are scared to do it, but then you're able to you go into anything and then just do what you do and it works.
Yeah. I mean, and I don't really understand why people are scared of that because whenever I go to a rap show and it's like it's literally rapper, 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 kid with guitar, rapper, rapper, they always come up to me afterwards and they're like, "Man, this is like a refreshing thing." And it makes sense because it's just like a lot of people who are in the rap game are kind of copy paste. It's very rare that I see somebody who's like actually doing shit differently and doing it well, with anything, but with rap in this circumstance. So it's like, why would I not go into a market that I would be the only person doing what I'm doing in that market? And if it's working, then like, it's working.
I
Do
tell
any
people
more?
that all the time. I'm like, hey, if you can bring something different, because people don't like logically, people don't listen to like just one form of music.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone actually really listens to multiple forms of music. So it would only make sense that you could go to almost anywhere and perform, just like how they have festivals with sometimes you might see like Aerosmith, then Michael Jackson. It's like
Yeah.
you can go to these and see everything and you can gain fans and people love it all. But then
Yep.
people have this like weird, like separate genre thing that's like the weirdest thing to me. Like I used to go and do shows. I used to go and do shows at like rock shows, and it'd be like me and Hip. And
Yep.
it'd be like we'd be the only rappers on the night. But then
Yeah.
I never cared because I was kind of like, yo, some of these people in here listen to what I do. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So I was like, I like that you're one of those people that are like that because I get a lot of people, especially from like whether it's the acoustic or the rock world that are kind of like, yo, if it's not all rock, I don't want to come out or da, 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 you know what I'm saying? And it's like,
Yeah.
hey, you need to come get these fans.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And now, lately I've seen you and you've been working on your brand right now because I see you said to Hip like, hey, I need a what's it called jean jacket the other night and everything like that.
Yep.
You had
Yeah.
bandanas, everything like that. So how's that going with working on your brand so you
Mm.
can catch people?
Yeah. Well, for like social media stuff, obviously, I took a lot of marketing and branding classes early on in the starts, like 2022-ish. And just understanding that like your Instagram has to portray who you are, what you're doing. People go to my Instagram, they look at it, they say, "Oh, it's his Instagram. He plays music, he does shows, blah blah blah." They know exactly what they're looking at. Um, but then Hypnotic pointed out or brought to my attention that when you're in a crowd of people after you get off stage, how are you gonna be remembered on? So like if I go on stage like this, I'm not gonna be remembered from the people who are in the back 10 minutes from now because it doesn't stick out as much as the outfit that I've put together now. So I have an all black jacket, or outfit with a jean jacket, black pants, and then um a cool hat that I put together. And it's just something like sticking me out of the crowd, I guess, that really sticks with people and they remember you by it. So
Yeah, I
yeah.
always tell people you can't look like the crowds. Because if you
Yeah.
look like the crowd, you look the same. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna just mistake you for the same thing.
Yeah.
That's why
Yeah.
when I crossed over and I started wearing like the pink stuff like Cameron, it was
Yep.
easy because everyone remembers, oh, he's the dude that wears the pink. You know what I'm saying? And it's like
Yeah.
you had that instance the other night in Greeley because that dude seen that hat and he was like, "This your hat?"
Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah. And that's happened like a lot. And even
Uh-huh.
like even when I headlined the marquee, whatever, on the in May, um, when I went outside, the people from just like the street, they weren't even at the show. They were stopping me and being like, I fuck with your swag, like your hat's dope, blah, 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 this and that. It happens a lot. And it's like it's kind of crazy to me how much it happened immediately after I took the advice and like put something together. So
That's dope. That's dope. And now you got some big things coming up because you've actually Well, before I get to that, you've already kind of crossed over and gotten to the point with Concert to where you've gone to other cities. So you went to Arizona and did your thing.
Yep.
And
Yep.
how was that experience?
It was wild. It was genuinely wild just showing up to a place that I'd never been and being like, yeah, I'm playing. And then there'd be people there play the song. I sold some tickets too. I got family out there. I got a cousin out there. So being able to sell tickets in a different state was a pretty surreal feeling. So it was dope.
Did you drive or you fly?
I drove. Yeah. I drove my car out there and then we stayed in a hotel for a couple nights and drove back.
That's that grind right there. That's that real
Yeah.
grind.
We were supposed to have a show the next day too. We were planning, so our whole plan was get to Arizona, play the show on the 26th, and then drive back up to Greeley on the 27th and play at the Moxie. So we were really gonna be we were gonna drive up all night and all that shit, but the Moxie show fell through. But man, we'd still do it if it was good. So
And that's part of that want to do it because I always tell artists like I used to drive like 4 or 5 hours, like me and Hip drive 4 or 5 hours, just do one song or whatever. And you actually did that the other day for us,
yep,
which is dope. Which I always tell it's the realest when an artist is like, "Yo, I just need to get in front of these people and show them what I do," and then
yeah,
that can start what's gonna happen in the future for me.
mm,
And you came all the way up to Grand Junction in the amphitheater with
yep,
us and took
yep.
that 4 hour trip to do that.
Yeah, I mean that's the best place to sell your brand though is in front of people, and
Hmm.
there was a shit ton of people at that show, so it was definitely worth it. So
Yeah, that was one and ones right there. That was
yeah,
one
that shit
and
was crazy. That was tight.
that was one and ones. Yeah,
Yeah.
amphitheaters is one of them things, you know what I'm saying? But you also you're about to head into Wyoming and do a lot of stuff like you're gonna do I think it's a like a car type rally,
Yeah.
everything like that. And
Um,
what's the name of the place? Torrington.
Orange.
Torrington, Wyoming.
Yep.
And
Out in
so
the middle of nowhere.
that's you know what I'm saying? Like, and people don't understand like some of these spots, this is where you can become like the super famous one because they don't get Drake every week and everything like that. So then they
Yeah.
can kind of champion someone that's coming in town and be
Mhm.
like, so it's an experience, you know what I'm saying, to kind of gain new fans.
Yeah. Yeah. And I've been talking to the promoter about that show because the headliner fell through. So we moved up to the headlining spot. And he's been kind of pushing my music out to the locals. And he's been saying there's people coming that will drive like that are driving an hour and a half just to come see the show. So I mean, the people there are obviously hungry for something. Probably because it's boring as fuck in Wyoming. There's nothing to do there. Um, but and if we can take these markets over, then it's just a bunch of value for me as well. So
Yeah. And then after that, you're going to headline in Laramie
mhm.
following month, which is dope. So you starting to build in other places, like you know what I'm saying? That's what this is all
Mhm.
about.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
tell us where everyone can find you if they're looking for Grayson Ratliff.
yeah. Instagram, just look up my name, just Grayson Ratliff. If you Google me, I got some media up on there. I got a website, just GraysonRatliffMusic.com. And then yeah, Spotify, Apple Music, every streaming platform you can think of. Just look up my name and I'll pop up. So
We got some new music coming out right now.
yeah, I just dropped one on the 7th. So last week dropped a track called Caveman, and then I just recorded another track. It's gonna be called Bedridden. And I think I just might, what is today? Friday? I might release it next Friday, just randomly. I don't know yet.
That's
But
what's up. I got another one I gotta send you to,
oh yeah,
because we already got one, you
yeah,
know.
tell me about it. And then we got that other one that we need to release
Oh
too.
yeah, Hip finally recorded his verse, so like I'll come back out of retirement again for the 3,000th time.
New music on the way again and again and again.
It's the only thing I do. I love it. You know what I'm saying? Like can't pull away.
Yep. Hmm.
But thank you once again for your time. Um, I'll definitely probably see you in a couple weeks, I'm guessing.
On the 22nd at Bluebird.
Yes.
Yep.
Bluebird. It goes down. So yes,
Yep.
sir. Thank you once again for your time.
Thank
And
you.
I will see you on the 22nd, sir.
All right. Sounds good.
Yes,
Appreciate it.
sir.